Hello friends, I hope you are well. Today we will talk about Ctesias. Ctesias was a Greek physician and historian from Caria, modern-day Turkey, who lived during the 5th century BCE. He served as a court physician to the Persian king Artaxerxes II r. 404 to 358 BCE and later wrote historical works about Persia and India. His writings, particularly Persica and Indica, became influential but were often criticized for containing exaggerated or fictional elements. Born in Cnidus, a Greek city in Caria, part of the Persian Empire at the time. He was a member of the Asclepiad family, known for its tradition of medical practice. Trained as a physician and later traveled to Persia, where he entered royal service. Ctesias worked as a royal physician at the court of Artaxerxes II. He treated the king after the Battle of Cunixa, 401 BCE, where Artaxerxes defeated his brother Cyrus the Younger. As a court insider, he gained access to Persian records and first-hand accounts of events. After years in Persia, Ctesias returned to Greece, where he wrote histories of Persia and India. His works were later summarized by Photius, 9th century CE, as the original texts have been lost. He wrote many books. Persica, History of Persia. A 23-book history of Persia, covering events from the legendary Assyrian queen Semiramis to Artaxerxes II. Criticized Herodotus, claiming his own account was more accurate. Mixed historical facts with legendary stories, making it unreliable. Indica, Account of India. A fantastical description of India, full of exaggerations and myths. Described giant ants that dug for gold, one-eyed men, and magical plants. Despite its inaccuracy, it later influenced Greek views on India. The exact date of his death is unknown, but he likely died in the late 4th century BCE. His blend of history and myth made his works entertaining but questionable as factual history. Even though his accounts are unreliable, they provide a valuable perspective on Persian and Indian cultures as seen by a Greek living in the Persian court. Persica. Persica was a 23-book historical account of Persia, written by Ctesias, who served as a royal physician at the Persian court. The work aimed to correct Herodotus' errors about Persia but included many legendary and fictional elements. Ctesias claimed to have based his work on Persian royal archives, but ancient historians often questioned his reliability. Book 1. The Assyrian Empire and Queen Semiramis. The book begins with the history of the Assyrian Empire, which ruled over Asia for 1300 years. Ctesias tells the legend of Semiramis, a warrior queen who supposedly conquered vast lands, built Babylon, and led an invasion of India. Semiramis is portrayed as a brilliant but ruthless ruler, who disguised herself as a man to seize power. She led military campaigns as far as Ethiopia and India, before mysteriously disappearing and being worshipped as a goddess. Book 2. The Fall of the Assyrians and the Rise of the Medes. After Semiramis, the Assyrians weakened, leading to their fall. The last king of Assyria, Sardanapalus, is depicted as an effeminate, weak ruler, more interested in luxury than warfare. A Median prince, Arbaces, and a Babylonian leader, Belices, rebel against Assyria and overthrow Sardanapalus. The Median Empire is established, with Arbaces as its first king. Book 3. The Median Kings and the Rise of Persia. The Medes rule over Asia, but their last king, Astyages, becomes corrupt and oppressive. A prophecy warns him that a Persian child, Cyrus, will overthrow him. Astyages orders his general Harpagus to kill the infant Cyrus, but Harpagus spares him and raises him in secret. As Cyrus grows up, he leads a revolt against Astyages, eventually defeating him and founding the Persian Empire, Achaemenid dynasty. Book 4. Cyrus the Great and the Expansion of Persia. Cyrus consolidates power and defeats rival kingdoms, including Lydia, Babylon, and Bactria. He is depicted as a wise and just ruler, but also a cunning strategist. The book describes his conquest of Babylon, in which he diverts the Euphrates River to enter the city. Ctesias differs from Herodotus, claiming that the Babylonian queen Nitocris played a key role in the events. Cyrus' final campaign against the Massagetae ends in his death in battle against Queen Tamiris, who reportedly drowned his head in a vessel of blood. Book 5. Cambyses II and his madness. After Cyrus, his son Cambyses II became king. He is portrayed as a cruel and mentally unstable ruler, in contrast to his father. Ctesias details his invasion of Egypt, where he kills the sacred Apis bull, angering the Egyptians. Cambyses allegedly murders his own brother Smerdis, fearing he might seize the throne. His paranoia and cruelty grow, and he eventually dies under mysterious circumstances. Book 6. The Rise of Darius I. After Cambyses' death, Persia is thrown into chaos, as a false Smerdis Bardia takes the throne. The book describes how Darius I, a Persian noble, uncovers the deception and leads a coup against the false king. Darius seizes power and begins organizing the Persian Empire, establishing satrapies, provinces, laws, and taxation systems. The book ends with Persia becoming the most powerful empire in the world, under Darius' rule. Book 7. The Reign of Darius I, 522–486 BCE. Darius I consolidates power, eliminating rivals and expanding Persian control. He establishes a bureaucratic empire, dividing it into satrapies, provinces. His major achievements include completing the royal road for communication, standardizing currency and laws, strengthening Persepolis as the imperial capital. The book also details Darius' military campaigns, including his invasion of India, where he annexed the Indus Valley, his Scythian campaign, which ends in failure as the nomads avoid direct battle, his conquest of Thrace and Macedonia, expanding Persian influence into Europe. Book 8. The Ionian Revolt and the Start of the Greco-Persian Wars, 499–490 BCE. The Ionian Greek cities, under Persian rule, rebel with Athenian support. Darius crushes the revolt, 494 BCE, but becomes determined to punish Athens. He launched an invasion of Greece, 490 BCE, leading to the Battle of Marathon. Despite superior numbers, the Persians are defeated by the Athenians, marking a major setback for Darius. B.C. Ctesias presents an alternative version of events, often contradicting Herodotus. Book 9. Xerxes I and the Second Persian Invasion of Greece, 486–480 BCE. Xerxes succeeded his father, Darius, after his death in 486 BCE. He begins preparations for a second invasion of Greece, amassing one of the largest armies in history. The book details the construction of the Xerxes Canal in northern Greece, the building of pontoon bridges over the Hellespont, the logistics of the massive Persian army, including supply lines and naval forces. Xerxes' early victories include the Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BCE, where his army defeats the 300 Spartans and their allies. The capture and burning of Athens, forcing the Greeks to flee. Book 10. The Battle of Salamis and Persian Defeat, 480 BCE. Themistocles, the Athenian general, lures the Persian fleet into the Straits of Salamis. The Greek navy, despite being outnumbered, destroys much of the Persian fleet. Xerxes, fearing a Greek counterattack, retreats back to Persia, leaving General Mardonius in charge. Ctesias challenges Herodotus' account, portraying Xerxes as less emotional and more strategic in his retreat. Book 11. The Battles of Plataea and Mycale, 479 BCE. In 479 BCE, the Greeks rallied together for a final battle against Persia. At the Battle of Plataea, the Greeks, led by Pausanias, crushed Mardonius' forces, forcing the Persians to abandon Greece. Simultaneously, the Greek navy wins at Mycale, leading to a rebellion in Ionia against Persia. The book depicts Persian nobles blaming one another for the defeat. Xerxes returns to Persia and focuses on luxury and palace intrigues. Book 12. Xerxes' later reign and his assassination, 479–465 BCE. Xerxes abandons military campaigns and indulges in court luxuries and romances. Ctesias provides scandalous stories of Xerxes' affairs, including his love for his niece, Artainte, which leads to palace tensions. The influence of powerful women in the Persian court. In 465 BCE, Xerxes was assassinated in a palace conspiracy, led by the commander Artabanus. Artabanus briefly seizes power before being killed by Artaxerxes I, Xerxes' son. Book 13. The early reign of Artaxerxes I, 465–450 BCE. Artaxerxes I faces internal revolts and power struggles. He must secure his rule against his brothers, who claim the throne. Egyptian and Greek rebellions, backed by Athens. Ctesias emphasizes Persian court intrigues, with noble families competing for influence. The book ends with Artaxerxes stabilizing the empire, setting the stage for later conflicts with Athens and Sparta. Book 14–16, The Later Achaemenid Kings, 450–404 BCE. Artaxerxes I, 465–424 BCE, deals with Greek interference in Asia Minor, including conflicts with Athens and Sparta. Darius II, 424–404 BCE, faces court intrigues, revolts, and increasing Greek influence in Persian affairs. Persian support shifts between Sparta and Athens during the Peloponnesian War, 431–404 BCE. The rise of Cyrus the Younger, son of Darius II, and his ambitions for the throne begin. Book 17–19, Cyrus the Younger's revolt and the Battle of Cunixa, 401 BCE. Cyrus the Younger rebels against his brother Artaxerxes II after their father's death. He gathers a mercenary army, including the 10,000 Greek soldiers, described in Xenophon's Anabasis. The Battle of Cunixa, 401 BCE, Cyrus is killed, and his army is defeated. The Greek mercenaries, stranded in Persia, begin their famous retreat. Book 20–23, Later Persian-Greek Relations, 400–390 BCE. Artaxerxes II deals with internal revolts and Greek interventions in Anatolia. Persian influence grows in Greek politics, leading to the King's Peace, 386 BCE, where Persia dictates terms to Greek city-states. The decline of Persian control begins as satraps' governors become more independent. Persica was an important but controversial historical account of the Persian Empire. While it provided a unique insider's view, it was filled with myths, exaggerations, and dramatic storytelling, making it more of a historical novel than a factual chronicle. Despite this, it remains a valuable source for understanding Greek perceptions of Persia and the legendary traditions surrounding the Achaemenid rulers. Indica. Indica was an account of India written by Ctesias, who served as a royal physician at the Persian court. Unlike Persica, which focused on Persian history, Indica described India's geography, culture, fauna, and customs. However, the work contained numerous myths and exaggerations, making it more of a fantasy travelogue than a factual report. The book has been lost, but fragments survive through Photius, 9th century CE, and references in later Greek and Roman authors like Pliny, Strabo, and Elian. India is described as a vast, fertile land with great rivers, including the Ganges. The country is said to have mountains full of gold and rivers carrying precious gems. Ctesias mentions a sacred lake with water so pure that it grants immortality to those who drink it. Ctesias, Indica is famous for its strange and mythical creatures, including gold-digging ants, giant ants that mine gold dust in the desert. Monopods, one-legged creatures who use their giant feet as sunshades. Dog-headed people, cynocephaly, a race of humans with dog-like faces who communicate by barking. Gigantic serpents, enormous snakes capable of swallowing entire animals. Flying snakes and griffins, creatures that guard treasures in the mountains. Describes Indian kings as wealthy, just, and wise rulers. Mentions vegetarianism and peaceful customs, contrasting India with Persia and Greece. Claims that Indians live for 200 years, thanks to their pure lifestyle and diet. Mentions Indian healers who use potent herbs and can cure deadly diseases. Describes an Indian practice of self-immolation, where wise men burn themselves alive to attain spiritual enlightenment. Highly unreliable. Unlike Megasthenes' Indica, Ctesias' work is considered more fantasy than fact. Influential on later writers, inspired medieval myths about India in European and Arab traditions. Some real elements mention Indian elephants, spices, and certain customs, which were later confirmed by more reliable sources. Ctesias' Indica was a fantastical account of India, mixing real geography with legendary creatures and mythical riches. While historically inaccurate, it remains an important text for understanding how ancient Greeks viewed India, shaping Western imagination about the East for centuries. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.